I don't know about you, but I think the way we listen to music right now kind of sucks. Spotify's evil, Apple's evil, every company that distributes music is evil, and nobody owns anything anymore. It's all being rented to us. I, for the most part, have managed to escape that by buying my own music, whether that be in digital form or on CDs, and then I put that on an iPod and listen to it wherever I go. And if I'm in the car, I just listen to my CDs. It's pretty simple. CDs are pretty cheap. You can find them at thrift stores or on eBay for a pretty low price. And the benefit of buying your music instead of renting it is that you own it. You get to keep it, and nobody can take it away from you. If you stop paying for Spotify, everything goes away. But if you have your music on CDs, then there's nothing that just disappears. It's a one-time purchase. I'd suggest getting a dedicated audio player or a DAP. Of course, there's the Apple iPod line of products, which has become increasingly overpriced as of late. I have this iPod Nano, I don't know if it'll focus, that I managed to pick up from my parents because they don't use it anymore. So you might know someone who has an iPod who doesn't use it anymore just because of convenience or because it's old and they use a phone now. I know iPod Classics, especially the Gen 5s, are insanely expensive now, so don't probably try to go for one of those. There are these really good Chinese companies that make digital audio players that are like Theo, there's Hajime, I think there's a couple other ones. I'll leave some links down in the description. But anything like that, I think you can expect to pay like $40 or $50 for a good quality one. And the advantage to something like a Theo Snow Sky Echo Mini or something like that is that you get really good audio quality and portability in exchange for a little bit of janky software. But that's kind of just the way that things go in this space. But anyway, all you're going to need is one of those and like a cheap disk drive. You can get one literally anywhere. Probably Amazon would work. You probably already have one in your house if you have any old tech. But pretty much any kind of disc reader can read a CD, and CDs, they don't need to be in great shape to be able to rip the files from them. The data density is pretty low, and so don't worry about having a perfect condition disc. It's not like Blu-rays where like one scratch will throw off your whole file copy. CDs, they can be a little scuffed up and it'll be fine. You'll then use a software like Fubar 2000 is what I personally use, and I'll upload a guide for that at some point. But just pick up something like that and you can start ripping your files right away. Fubar also has options to convert files, and so I convert all of mine to AAC because it takes up very little space on the iPod, and I can't really notice a difference in quality just because of the iPod itself. I'm not an extreme audiophile. I do use IEMs on occasion. I have the Moondrop Chew 2, which is like $20. It's insanely cheap and insanely good value. So all you need is a disc reader, a dedicated audio player, and just a collection of CDs. Like I said earlier, I get a ton of mine at the thrift store or on eBay used. Normally you can tell the condition pretty well. Of course, there's the eBay policies for if the product is not as described. And essentially, all you're going to want to do is once you have those files ripped, just grab yourself a CD binder like this one, and then you can keep that in your car. Keep all your discs in there. You can hold like 20 or so, and that's all I have for right now. A tiny one works great, but you can find huge ones. And again, thrift stores are great to find these because you don't need to pay for a new one. And so if your car has a CD player, just listen to your CDs in the car. Sorry if I'm rambling. And what if your car doesn't have a CD player? Well, I'd say the next best option is to take your MP3 player in the car and use an aux cable. And if you don't have an aux cable either, I'm really sorry for you, but there are other options that you can do. You can, of course, put these files on your phone. No, that kind of defeats the whole point of the distraction-free thing. Every car is different, so I can't really say exactly what to do, but most cars at least have an aux port or some kind of USB option, and that's going to depend on your specific audio player, whether you can use that or not. But I suggest you do research based on your specific vehicle if you want to listen to music in the car. I can keep my iPod in my pocket anywhere I go. If you have a Snow Sky or a High-B DAP, something like that, that's also very portable and easy to use. Then you own your own music and you have a physical copy to go with it, which looks great on a shelf or anywhere else that you can put it. In addition, you get to listen to music in the order that the artist intended. I think people have kind of lost the concept of an album nowadays, and it's really good to be able to listen to the tracks in the order that they're supposed to be heard in. A lot of albums kind of tell a story, and we don't really have that anymore if you're just listening to music on shuffle all the time. So it's great to be more intentional about what you're listening to, and you're not getting notifications the whole time because it's an old iPod and it doesn't have the internet. Pretty much what I'm trying to say is the whole thing that made music convenient is also what ruined the listening experience for most of us. I almost forgot. If you can't find your music on CDs, there are plenty of websites that you can get digital files for without DRM or any kind of like forced app that you have to use to listen to it. A couple good examples would be Bandcamp is probably the number one. They have a ton of stuff, including game soundtracks, which I'm a huge fan of. So definitely check out Bandcamp. The Quoba's digital store is also really good because they have a lot of music that Bandcamp doesn't have. There's plenty more websites like that, and there's also different country or region specific ones. Like I'll link a Japanese one in the description that I have used a couple times. Basically, any site that will give you the music files without any kind of DRM, and a lot of them will also have ways to convert the files to the type that you need. I know Bandcamp and Quobuz definitely have that. And so you can just directly download it however you need, and it'll have all the metadata baked in and all the covers and everything. It'll be pre-set up for you, so it's actually easier than ripping the CDs, but then you don't get a physical copy, so it's kind of a trade-off. And if you can't find your music on CDs or digitally for purchase, then you're gonna have to look at other options. There's this thing that you can somehow convert YouTube to MP3s. I forget what it's called. It's like YouTube to MP3. I wouldn't suggest MP3 files specifically though. So if you can find high quality rips elsewhere, then maybe just do that. Thanks for listening to my caffeinated rant about music, and I hope to see you again. I'll upload a guide soon for using FooBar to rip CDs because that is something that I really like and it is extremely easy and painless. Thanks for watching, and I hope you'll find the time to free yourself from the AI slop and ads and rent that is Spotify and Apple Music. See ya.